Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Grief Process webinar. We are almost getting to that closing part of it. I believe it's about this week, wrapping up this week, and I think we have 2 more weeks after this. Today's question of the day is, what triggers my grief points? So we talked about this in the beginning of last week, and what are some of those trigger points that you have? So some of the trigger points that can come to mind, it can be just minor and small things that may be touchy go. It may be a phrase you may use, or it may be something that you sense in the air. It may be a certain fragrance. It may be a certain commercial. It may be a certain food or something that'll trigger your grief, that'll cause you to really soar out and cry. And when those trigger points hit you, you like, whoa. And it's a whoa moment because you're happy and joyful. And all of a sudden you get down to that place where it just really consumes you in a real dark way. And those trigger points can happen sporadically and out of your control. And those who don't know what that feels like, it's hard for you to understand it, because if you're in that person's shoes, you can understand it in your own shoes. And when I talk about this trigger points, there's certain things you should not say when somebody is in a grieving state of mind. It's not a good way of helping them and giving them the right advice. At times, people will say something to kind of just say, are you really serious? Because they don't understand. And they don't understand because they're not in your shoes and they have not experienced in their own shoes. So they don't know what to say or how to say it. It's not easy to just go and do certain activities when those emotions start to really surface out of you. They can say a lot of different things to keep you from going into a deep place. But the most important thing when somebody is going through that trigger point is just to show them support and love, and just be that listening ear and basically give them courage to get through that particular problem that they're in right now. And those trigger points go on back and forth, like a tennis ball, or basketball, football, whatever. But they happen all the time. Somebody today, yesterday, today, even right now, and tomorrow, whatever, are going through these episodes. I personally have experienced it in my own personal life. I'm doing all right today, thank goodness. So I'm able to tell you that, hey, if you see somebody going through their moments and going through their thing, just give them a hug. Tell them that you love them, because that means so much to them. There's so many people right now that's going through the grief process. They don't feel love and they don't feel appreciated. They feel alone at this. And I always encourage people to go and reach out for support and have somebody to just listen to what you're going through. Because when you speak up about your emotions and feelings, I'm telling you, you will feel 100% better. And when you feel 100% better, you start to say, hey, I'm not alone. There's others that's going through this. There's others feeling this. There's others that's going through these moments and these problems. So we're going to talk a little bit about trigger points, and we're going to go down the line, and then I have one little short video I want to show you all before I log off the webinar. The trigger points can be in terms of a mother, a dad, an auntie, a grandmother, a child, a spouse. Those trigger points are things that you have had memories and you have recalled flashbacks. And what that means is something that just kind of pop in your head that you haven't thought about in a very long time. And when you have those recall flashbacks, some of them can be very minor, some of them can be very major, and some of them can be very consuming, that your whole entire day is completely grievable. And when I say grievable, that means you're grieving the entire day. That one little touch or that one little sit, that one little move just had completely made your whole day rocky. And when you reach out to your support group and go out and just say, hey, I'm having a bad day. I need somebody to give me something to make me laugh, put a smile on my face, or just say something to comfort me. And a lot of times when it gets so bad and gets so dark, you be like, just want to shut down, close the door, turn the TV off, the do not on your phone, do not disturb, all those different aspects, because you're tired of the aggravation. You're tired of the pain. You're tired of feeling these emotions and feelings. And this is an ongoing battle day in, day out. When you see somebody, you automatically think they're okay. But in reality, they are destroyed inside because they don't know how to express how they really feel. And then the moment you sit down and talk to them, they really begin to open up. Hello, everybody. They really begin to open up about some of these emotions that they're feeling. And the more you sit down and talk to them, or even talk to them on the phone, or even in person, you begin to understand what was so significant about that particular memory that's causing them to really have those type of outpours. And I mean, it's absolutely heartbreaking to see people that really struggle from this, from day to day, ins and outs of this. And when you see a person who have just went through something, who've been going through it for years, you just want to keep scrolling. Let me tell you something. These trigger points is an ongoing battle from day in and day out, from night and day, from week to week, from month to month, and year from year. This is not like, oh, I can shut it off and keep it moving. That's not how that works. That's not how that works, ladies and gentlemen. You keep your mind occupied, you do all the different things that you need to do. But at the end of the day, you're going to feel every ounce of what it is to come. That's called healing, everybody. It's called healing. And that healing is going to help you. No matter where you go and no matter where you're heading in your life, you will have to heal from every memory, every episode, every emotion, every good and bad situation. You're going to be angry, you're going to be mad, you're going to be upset, you're going to be confused, you're going to be so overwhelmed. But as long as you continue to press through, I'm not talking about, oh, just get by. No, you have to press through those difficult moments in your life. Because staying in one spot is going to keep you in one spot. Staying in one mindset is going to keep you in that one mindset. But if you see a pattern that you don't like about the situation within yourself, that's where you need to seek professional help. But it's really up to you when you're ready to open up. Okay? All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen, everybody. I'm going to show this one video for you all.
When we're grieving a profound loss, we often say we're heartbroken, but it might be more accurate to call it brain-broken, given the role the brain plays in grief. As your brain adjusts to the loss of someone you love, you might feel numb, depressed, or foggy. But moving through the stages of grief is natural and healthy. It helps you process your loss and begin to move forward over time. This is Your Brain On, where we explore how the world affects our brains and ourselves. The experience of grief is twofold. The immediate acute pain of the loss, and the months afterward as you mourn. The loss of someone meaningful functions as a stressor, triggering the pituitary gland at the base of the brain to produce adrenocorticotrophin, or ACTH. ACTH sends a signal to the adrenal gland to release cortisone, a stress hormone. Unlike, say, a temporary threat, grief is an intense, persistent stressor, so your body remains flooded with cortisone. That can cause your immune system to falter, making you feel run down. This is likely why some bereaved spouses fall ill soon after their partner dies. Even if the death of your loved one was expected, the actual event can still feel like a shock to the system. In the short term, a traumatized brain is bottom-heavy, meaning primitive areas, including your fear center, are overactive, adding to feelings of stress and despair. Meanwhile, higher cortical areas of the brain are underactive, like the anterior cingulate cortex, which helps regulate emotion. You may find it difficult to let go of minor annoyances or experience symptoms like increased heart rate for several minutes after you're startled. However, over time, the initial shock of loss typically gives way to a deep sadness or depression as you continue to mourn. Depression can cause widespread changes across several parts of the brain, including the amygdala, which regulates sleep behavior and mood, and the hippocampus, which processes memory and regulates stress hormones. These changes disrupt core functions of our bodies and minds. As you grieve, you may find yourself sleeping too little or too much, forgetting things, or trapped in brain fog. These feelings are difficult, but the acute pain doesn't last forever. Eventually, the sadness begins to lift at least a little bit, and then you may move on to feelings of anger or guilt before slowly moving toward acceptance of the loss. Experts agree the bereaved follow their own individual timelines, but in general, this three-stage process usually takes about a year. There are steps you can take to feel better as you go through the grieving process. Talk therapy can be a major help. This might be group bereavement meetings or cognitive behavioral therapy, which can redirect negative thoughts. Aerobic exercise can improve mood, memory, and thought processing. Talking with friends about the person you lost can be a great comfort for two. Studies show long-term grief actually activates neurons in the reward centers of the brain. And recalling the time spent with those who died reminds us that the memories still live on.
All right, everybody, that is it for today. We're going to dig a little bit more deeper in the grief process because there's a lot of things that can be talked about here. So I will see you back here tomorrow at 2, maybe at 1:30, but I want to get this on and off at this particular moment. Okay, everybody, I'll see you back here tomorrow. One time industry streaming live on the YouTube channel. The grief process webinar. Have an amazing and a wonderful Tuesday. Love you all. Take care.